Welcome to DadBuilt. So a lot of people out there are saying that you can't get professional, smooth looking curves from hard plastic edging. Well, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can, and I'm going to give you a bunch of tips to do it. If you're looking for curves, you're in the right place. This video is all about curves. But if you're looking for a general video on how to install hard plastic edging, make sure you check out my channel for my other edging videos. Hard plastic edging comes coiled up, and the material wants to hold that curved shape. Start by unrolling your edging and flattening it out, placing it somewhere in direct sunlight. The heat from the sun is going to help straighten it out. You can use a rock or a heavy object to hold it down. You want to let your edging straighten out for at least 30 minutes in the sun before you start installing. Now, a lot of criticism that I've heard about hard plastic edging is that it looks wavy, it doesn't stay even with the ground, and it gets worse every year. But I'm telling you that these are issues with poor execution, not a problem with the material. When installed correctly, it looks great and it lasts a long time. I've used hard plastic edging at my homes for years and I've never had any of these issues. But the secret to good curves is that it starts with a clean edge. You want your edge to be as crisp, clean, and smooth as possible. If the edge that you cut is all over the place, your hard plastic edging is going to look wavy and wonky. If you don't cut the edge at the right depth, your edging is going to look uneven with the ground. And if you don't stake it the right way, your edge line is going to be bumpy and disjointed. So how do we avoid those problems? We start with the right tools. Use a half-moon edger. This is the right tool to ensure that you get crisp lines cut at the right depth. For crisp curves, work the edger around, turning and angling it subtly to make natural lines. I like to sink the edger down and then move over about half the width of the blade for the next dig. That way you can really control the contour of the curve. If you're cutting too wide, you lose control over that contour. And if you need to, lay a garden hose out so you can see the shape of the curves that you're cutting. And make sure your edger has a lip on it like mine does. That's going to ensure that you cut to the right depth. When you push your edger into the ground, you want that lip to sit even with the ground level. And when you push it in, if it stops and that lip is above the ground level, you've hit something underneath, most likely a rock or something like that. And that's when you reach for your landscape knife. Use a landscape knife for precision depth work. You can use your landscape knife to dig out rocks and other debris sitting under your edging that's going to prevent it from getting to the right depth. And you can also use the landscape knife to clear soil and other debris out of the trench that you're cutting so that your edging dry fits nicely into the space. Once our edge line is cut crisp into the right depth, we're ready to start installing. This is one of the first moments of truth in this process. We want to eyeball our edge line now. Is it crisp? Is it cut at the right depth? Does it look good? And only when the answer to all three of these questions is yes, are we ready to start installing our edging. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Now let's get back to work. All right, let's install our edging. There are two things we want to remember when we're doing edging around curves. The first is we want to let the edging contour naturally to the space that it's in. And the second is with our landscape stakes. Our stakes are going to be there to support and reinforce that natural contour of the edging and curve. So I'm doing an edging circle around one of the trees in my tree lawn. So the first step that I need to do is I need to take this landscape edging connector piece and I need to insert it into one end of the edging that I have. This can be a little tricky because this is a hard plastic piece and you need to sort of bend and squeeze it to get it into this hole, and it doesn't want to do that very easily. So I use a pair of pliers to squeeze this edging so that you can fit it into the end of your edging piece a lot easier, like that. Next, we're just going to work this in, and you want to get it in a little more than halfway. There we go. We've got our connector piece a little more than halfway into one side. I'll be dry fitting my edging into this trench that I cut with my half-moon edger. This is where we let the edging do the work. Even though we flattened out the piece, it's still going to have the desire to curve and flow around the space that we put it in. When we dry fit the piece in, we're looking to see how the edging is sitting in that trench. I feed the piece into the space and I sort of expand it to its natural shape. This is why you want crisp, clean lines. The better they are, the better the edging will sit naturally in this shape. I'm going to start by just tapping in one stake here at about a 45-degree angle. So my first stake is in, and I'm keeping the dry fit, and I'm keeping it pulled, as tight as it'll let me go against this edge. And I can see by sort of pulling the edging like this, keeping with that natural shape, where can I put my next stake to support that contour of the material. And it's looking like if I put it right here, that's going to do just fine. So there it is. So I put that stake in, and I've got a stake over here as well. And I've got this whole curve here that is nice and supported by my edging stakes. Here's one of my favorite tips that came from a DadBuilt viewer. Once you have your edging pieces connected, take a couple of drywall screws and sink them in through your material into the connector. This is just going to be some extra insurance to make sure that those pieces don't pull apart as the edging heats up in the sun. Thank you, JackMasters9953, for that awesome tip. All right, so one last time, we're going to give this an eyeball, make sure everything's looking good. And if it is, we're ready to start backfilling our dirt and adding mulch. So now I'm going to take some soil and I'm going to put it around the edging in the areas where the contour of the edging was a little narrower than the edge that I cut. So that you'll see like a little bit of a gap here in between the material and the edge line, and I'm just going to fill that in with some soil. So while I'm getting everything cleaned up, I wanted to share my final tip of the day, and that is landscape edging. Whatever material you use ultimately comes down to preference. Some people really don't like hard plastic edging, and that's okay. I've used it for years, I've never had an issue with it, and I appreciate the ease and convenience of it. A lot of the reasons I hear cited for why people don't like hard plastic edging really boil down to poor execution and installation. No matter what material you're using, if you do a half-assed job, it's gonna look bad. And I think that's something we all can agree on. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned that you can absolutely get smooth and professional curves from hard plastic edging. Check out my other videos on landscape edging, and be sure to subscribe to DadBuilt for more DIY videos for dads. I'll see you next time.